Hi everybody, it's Miss Brody coming to you with a fantasy writing lesson. Today's all about making a plan for our writing. Hopefully you're feeling really excited today because finally we are done coming up with story ideas. We've spent 3 days pushing ourselves to be really creative and to think of many different ideas, and hopefully you have one that you're really sort of in love with and you can't wait to write about. But yet we're not writing yet, we're just planning. So today you're going to select the one idea that you really like the most, and you're going to plan your story. And there's a tool that writers use to help them plan, and we call it a story mountain or a story arc. So let's talk a little bit about these story mountains and use some writer's vocabulary. Well, the beginning of the story is where we typically introduce the setting, the characters, and the problem, and this is called the exposition. And again, we jump right in usually with problems right away. We don't spend chapters and chapters in books before we get to the good stuff and figure out what's going on. So we're going to jump right in with our exposition with the problem right away. The next is called the rising action, and this is where that problem that you've already sort of hinted at or got at the beginning is starting to get worse for your character, and there's often more than one unsuccessful attempt in solving this problem during rising action. Then we get to the climax, that really exciting part of your story. Maybe that's the scene where they're battling the dragon, or having to overcome that big obstacle. And then finally we are nearing the end where we have our falling action, where the reader's kind of like, whew, I think it's all going to work out. We start to see how the solutions are starting to fall into place, the action sort of coming to a close until we reach the resolution. And you'll notice that word solution is in the word resolution, that we have some sort of way that we're tying everything up at the end. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a happily ever after, but everything will be sort of tied together. Let's use the Paper Bag Princess, our mentor text, to sort of take us through those 5 steps of the story mountain. So first, again, we start with our exposition, where we have our princess, who should have an extra S on that word, who's going to marry Ronald. We meet our character, and then right away we have our problem. The dragon comes and knocks down the castle and carries off Ronald. And that's right in scene 1. I would call all of that happening in scene 1. Next up is our rising action, where she's starting to go on her quest and she's finding the bag to wear and she's chasing after him in another scene. Then we get to our climax, and in this story it's a little bit different than other stories where it's not really a big battle, but she gets to his cave and then he slams the door in her face and tells her to come back tomorrow. It might not seem like hugely exciting, but that really is sort of the climax of our story before she starts working on her solutions, which then we have our falling action when we start to notice that things are starting to go her way, where she comes up with her plan to trick him, and she has him burn down many forests, and she has him fly around the world in 10 seconds twice. And I'd call all of that happening in scene 4. And then we get to our resolution, the final part of our story, where the dragon's too tired to move, and she opens the door to the cave, and Prince Ronald is there, and he tells her to come back when she's dressed like a real princess, and then she calls him a bum and leaves. So again, exposition, we start in our rising action, our climax, our falling action, and our resolution. Bing, bang, boom. Okay. You've maybe seen a graphic organizer that looks like this. It gives you the real idea of this story mountain, where we start at the bottom, where we're describing our characters and our problems and our setting, right? We're giving the background to the reader before we start jumping right into this rising action, part 2, where we describe how that problem's getting worse until we get to the very top of our mountain, the climax. This is where it's really exciting. And then we get to the falling action. As things start to get easier, as they go back down the mountain, the solutions are falling into place until we reach the very end, where the problem is solved, and we sort of see how it all gets tied up, and maybe we notice that the character has changed or grown or learned their lesson. And here's another picture. I know I have one a chart like this in my room, where again, just another way of thinking about it, where at the very beginning we have our hook with our characters and our setting and our problem. We're jumping right into that. We're not waiting to get to the problem. We're not giving tons of background information that's sort of boring and describing our character forever. We're jumping right into the problem before we start getting into those rising action struggles. And then we reach the top of the mountain, that climax. And then the solution starts falling into place with our falling action. Up here we have the heart of the story, that's the theme, and then we reach the conclusion. You might see resolution, conclusion. Different people use different words, but they all mean the same thing. Okay, and that's our plan today, is we're going to make a plan. And this is going to be the one time I want you to tell, not show. Usually as a writing teacher, I'm always telling writers, show, don't tell, show, don't tell, but not when we're planning. Planning is really just getting the gist of your story down. So there's no dialogue today. There's no major description today in your plan. There are no major craft techniques that I want you to be using. All I want you to do is really put on your creativity hat and plan out your major scenes of your story. And this is what it's going to look like. You're going to get a document just like this. And step 1, well, hopefully you're doing it. You're watching the video. Step 2 is when you're choosing your story idea. And now step 3 is making your plan. And again, you are not writing a story today. No dialogue, just a plan. And now you can sort of copy from day 1, 2, or 3 of our coming up with ideas of your favorite idea, right? Where you wrote your characters, your setting, your problem, the obstacles, your solution, your theme, and your blurb. I want to be able to see that, and so will Ms. Beck wants to be able to know what your gist of your story is about. So you can copy that or rewrite it. It'll be blank here for you, but you can copy and paste. I picked the story about the environment with my characters and my setting of the forest, and I'm going to jump right now into my scene 1. So now is where I'm thinking to myself, how will my story get off to a start? How am I going to start my story about Priscilla having to overcome this dragon? Well, I think that Priscilla's parents, gosh, I can't type, parents send her to the forest to collect the Pricklepus plant. I'm just going to call it that. And again, I want to jump right to my problem. And she starts to notice there aren't any around. And she goes deeper, deeper and deeper into the forest. So again, that's sort of the start of her problem, but I want to get even closer to my problem and mention this dragon in here. And so I'm going to start off even in scene 1. I'm not going to wait too long before she spies a dragon eating up and collecting all the Pricklepus plants. And she runs away from him. Okay, so that's scene 1. What do you notice I'm not doing? I'm not writing dialogue. I'm not describing the forest. That's going to come when I do my drafting, right? I'm already imagining I can say, oh, Priscilla, please go into the forest and get us Pricklepus plants, said her mother. But I'm not writing that here. This is a plan. I'm not drafting. So now I want to think about what's going to happen next after she sees the dragon. How is her problem going to get worse? Well, again, maybe without her knowing it, the dragon sees her and chases her into a hole. And this is where she meets Fox and Beaver, because they're hiding as well. And also the thistle creatures are also working to attack her. I've decided as I was doing this that I really don't think I need this whole enchantress. I think that's getting too complicated, too many different evil creatures. So I'm just going to stick, and I probably could have just stuck with the dragon, but now I'm going to go again into more rising action, failed attempts at solutions. Maybe the animals try to defeat the thistle creatures, but they can't. Now again, eventually I'm going to have to really figure this scene out. But for now, I just know there's going to be a scene here where problems are getting worse. And now I get to my climax. And, you know, honestly, I think I'm just going to go with a battle scene, right? I know that there's going to be this big battle scene with the animals, and maybe they call in more animals. And now I want to get to scene 5 where things are finally starting to calm down and get better for my character. And I have an idea in my head, actually. I was thinking about it when I was, thinking that the dragon was eating up and collecting the prickle pus plants, is that his mouth is full. And I thought, and he can't breathe fire. But so then I was thinking again about fire-breathing dragons and maybe how they trick the dragon into breathing fire on the thistle creatures, right? Because again, I want my theme to come through. Please remember that you're trying to get a theme across, and in this case, my theme of when you work together, you can accomplish anything. So I want them to trick them into this and work together and trick the dragon, and then I'm going to have some sort of resolution. So you sort of get the idea here. You're starting to see what my plan is and what it's not. It's not me writing my story. It's me thinking about what each scene will be. And in the back of my head, I can imagine how these scenes will be showing, not telling, how I can imagine all the description of the battle scene. But right now, I'm not doing that. And that's not what you're doing today either, okay? Right? No dialogue, no description, no craft techniques. So again, we're really ready. It's your turn to get going. And I know some of you, maybe not all, but some of you might be excited to start writing, but good writers know that you need a plan first. And I promise that we will start drafting on Monday. So hold off on that. Maybe some of you are sort of like, I'm not too excited about drafting. And that's good, because today you have one more day to really think through your story. And this takes time. And sometimes things just come to you as you start thinking of your scenes. Play around with it, come up with different ideas. And don't go overboard. You only need about 5 to 7 scenes here. We're not writing a really, really, really long book here. So don't go crazy. Just come up with a few key scenes, right? Those 5 main scenes, or an extra here or there. And really, it's just time to get going. So I hope you enjoy making your plan and think it through and try things out, and have a great day.